Hello, everybody. Welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. At the beginning of every month, I do a scrapbooking kit build as part of the design team over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge. And November actually wraps up our kit builds for the year because in December, we do other challenges for you because we know the holidays are rather busy. So let's dive into our kit inspiration for the final kit of 2023. And here we are at the HipKit website, and we're looking at their November 22 main kit, which we have an overview of right here. Now, you can't see all the individual pieces from their website, so we're just going to dive into this amalgam of a kit and take a little bit of a closer look. Now, this kit is, let's see, can I get zoomed in? There we go. Now, this kit is definitely holiday themed, and I personally do not do a lot of holiday scrapbooking, but also a lot of themed scrapbooking. So I am going to take my kit definitely in a different direction than holiday. I'm going to be inspired by all the various patterns and possibly the colors in this kit, although it's a little bit on the pastel side for me. But as I was saying, there's lots and lots of patterns to pull out of here. So we've got plaids, we've got stripes. That looks like it could be a very fine polka dot. We've got a little bit of florals. There is a bit of a cathedral window pattern going on back there with that piece. We've got some kind of general greeneries, some geometrics, even a sweater print would be okay this time of year to tell cozier stories. More plaid. I'll skip the Christmas trees. And here is where the color palette feels a little too pastel for me, so I will probably go with deeper tones, although we shall see. The HipKit papers often remind me very much of Pink Fresh Studio, so I am likely to dive into my Pink Fresh Studio collection, which tends to have a softer color palette, so we shall see. So HipKit offers a lot of add-ons to their collections, as well as the Pocket Life Kit, which is an alternative to the 12x12 scrapbooking kit for people who go in the pocket documenting direction. And I wanted to take a little peek at this because it had a couple of pieces in here that I felt inspired by. Let's see if I can zoom in without it popping back and forth. Down here at the Yeah, that's the problem with these images. Down here at the bottom, there's some tags, which I appreciated. There are numbers in here for like a December daily style or an Advent style of documenting, but I'm inspired by numbers for journaling. I like to number photos and then match that up with journaling and so on. So I might pull in some numbers and then more kind of taggy type pieces. So that is what I wanted to take a look at over here. Let's keep moving on. There are lots of embellishments. I see stars in here, and so I might be including some stars in my kit. Like I said, they have lots of add-ons. So here is a steel die add-on. We have some die foliage, and I totally have sets like this, and I love using them in my kits. And then we have some kind of rub-on. No, it's a stamp, sorry. It's a stamp image for more mixed media layouts. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any of that this time around. And then another stamp. This kind of goes along with a piece of pattern paper with the music notes in it. Cardstock colors. And this is the mixed media add-on that they do, and I do like adding a little bit of mixed media to my stuff. Mostly what I'm thinking in here is that they have a little bit of shimmer and shine product here with this Nouveau glitter paste and these paints down here by Shimmers. So I might pull in some shimmery something. And this is where I should say that I need to make a small kit this month because my kits have been too big and I have got a big volunteer project that I'm working on. So I need to keep things low key this month. And if that is you, then you know what I'm talking about. So let's go down to my scrap space and pull some products and see if I can build a small kit, which I have a hard time doing. So when I went down to my scrap space, the first place I went to was my Pink Fresh Studio file because that was the biggest idea I had by looking at the inspiration. What I realized here is I have 3 sets of this particular collection pack. So I'm going to want to try and use up some of that. I don't know how I ended up with 3, but that's how things go. The first place I start with my collection pack, though, is with my loose open papers and try and use up things that are not part of a collection pack. So I start with that kind of washi tape style paper, and any papers that I set off to the left, I'm keeping, and any papers I set off to the right are maybes, and then stuff I put off in front of me is the no pile. And really, I am just being drawn by patterns, which I mentioned before, plaids, stripes, and geometrics in particular. And then the colors that really I was drawn to were a lot of blues. Blue feels good for this time of year for me. It feels calming in a lot of ways. And I know a lot of people don't say blue is cozy, but I do kind of think there is a coziness to blues, especially at this time of year. Where I live, the sky is very gray. So the blue feels just kind of peaceful, I guess, is what I'm trying to go for. Now that piece had a little bit of red in there, and I'm going to totally ignore the red from the inspiration. Now this sheet has tags on it, which I thought I would use for some of the embellishing, since that was something I mentioned previously. However, as I debate that piece of paper, it will get eliminated, and we'll get to that. Now the washi tape paper had some pinks in it, and I know there were a few pops of pink in the inspiration, but what I'm thinking about using pink for is in replacement to the reds, because again, it is calmer and less in your face than the reds, and I think I'm really needing a calm kit this time around. However, the first pink I pulled was a little too pastel-y pink, and so I go for this more peachy pink, and as I lay that next to my very first piece of paper with the washi strips on there, I do like that one better. But I am still debating whether I want to keep that softer pink in there, because those two papers may not end up going together, the stripey one and the soft pink, even though they don't match, but it might come to some other use. Oh, that little kit of papers is something I'm going to use for my Forgery on the 4th project. So if you want to join me back on the 4th for that, it's a pretty simple one, but I will go over more of that. So one of the things I do is lay out all my pattern papers to see if I feel like I'm done. And at this point, I do. I like the patterns. I like the colors. I've got a little bit of balance with some yellows and greens and pinks, along with all of those calming blues. So that makes me happy. And I turn to the embellishments. I have recently reorganized a lot of my embellishments by company. And this is why, because when I go to a company's products, I want to be able to go and find the embellishments that could work well. And as I'm sorting through all of these, and it's just a mishmash of all the different collections I have, I am not thinking about anything in particular, really. I am being drawn to color, first of all, because that is what I used a lot. And then texture. This one in particular is a fabric tag set, which is hard to tell on camera, but that texture really I appreciated. There was some chipboard that I pulled because I appreciated the texture. And so those are the things that are going through my mind, as well as anything else that catches my attention, like this little phrase sticker that says "just so tired." And I tell you, I am living that life right now. Just so tired. I did pull some alphabets. I think the inspiration alphabet had a bit of a wood grain to it. It was really hard to tell from some of the smaller pictures, but I just pulled some other colors that I thought would work. And then I did pull some shiny product that I mentioned in the inspiration. And this lunar paste I haven't worked with much, but I can use it for splatters, for stenciling, for smearing, for a variety of options. So that will make it into my kit. All right, that is a wrap for this time around. I hope you appreciated something about this video, and if you did, let me know what it was. And I will be back on the 4th, so until then, have an artful day.